Hello everyone, I welcome you all to season 2 of Small Talk with the Etsy Collective. We've really missed having these sessions with you every Saturday, but we're so glad to be back with more conversations around crafts, community, and creativity. On behalf of everyone from the team, I'd like to thank you for supporting us for the first season of Small Talk. Your love and enthusiasm is what keeps us going. This year, we aim to bring you more sessions around crafts, community, and creativity, along with inspirational speakers, thought leaders, and some phenomenal conversations, along with our in-house team of Etsy experts who will help you guide you to opening your Etsy shop. I'd like to introduce you to the team behind these sessions. Sunanda Krishna, she is the PR and marketing lead of Etsy in India. She's been a constant support in making this event a success. Followed by Anushka from Seller Growth team. She will assist us in answering questions related to opening up your Etsy shop. Her team has helped hundreds of sellers in setting their Etsy businesses up for success. And finally, I'm Radhika Agrawal, and I'll be your host this evening. Now I'd like to introduce you to our guest speaker for today, Ms. Alifia Hussain from Etsy shop, The White Tree Designs. And here today, she will talk about turning her conscious clothing brand into a successful Etsy shop. White Tree Designs is Alifia's compassionate motive of creating aesthetic yet functional clothing and accessories which are true to Indian culture and heritage, while also empowering the makers with quality of life and integrity of their work. We welcome you, Alifia.
Thank you so much, Radhika. It's so good to be here. And hello to everyone who's listening in today.
Thank you so much, Alifia. We're really looking forward to having this conversation. Let's
Okay.
start with the agenda for today's session. First, a little bit introduction about Etsy, who we are and what we do, post which a fireside conversation with the seller where you will get to know how she runs her business and she will talk about her conscious clothing brand. And finally, a Q&A segment. So make sure you type down all your questions related to Etsy and if any question you have for Alifia, and we'll be taking up those questions in this segment. So what is Etsy? Etsy is a global marketplace for unique and handcrafted goods. We provide creative entrepreneurs a platform to showcase their work to people from more than 80 countries in the world. We're the only marketplace which focuses on creative entrepreneurs, and we help our community of sellers turn their ideas into successful businesses. Our platform connects to sellers and buyers looking for an alternative for something special for those moments that deserve imagination. We connect with millions of buyers and sellers from nearly every country in the world. Currently, we have 3.7 million active sellers selling to over 85 million buyers across 80 countries and selling more than 80 million active buyers to selling 85 million plus products. In the time when automation is increasing so much, it's our mission to keep the human connection at the heart of commerce. And that's why we've built a community that lives and thrives because it is empowered by people like yourselves. A little about Etsy's green footprint. In 2019, Etsy became the first e-commerce company to offset 100% of its carbon emissions from shipping. For every item shipped in our marketplace, Etsy automatically invests in an environmental project to offset the emissions. Since 2019, we've offset over 173,000 metric tons of CO2, which is equivalent to 20,000 homes' energy use for a year or charging 22 billion smartphones. It's not just us as a company who feel responsible for the carbon footprint, but 90% of our buyers say that environmental sustainability is very important to them. Which brings me to the three major categories of goods which can be sold on Etsy. First one being the handmade category. As the name suggests, anything that you make or design on your own comes under this category. And this is the biggest category of our sale on Etsy. Second one being the vintage category. This is very unique to Etsy. Any item which is 20 years old or older in its product age comes under this category. And finally, craft supplies, anything which can be used to, which is utilized to make something new like buttons, gemstones, trims, components. Everything which is utilized to create a new product on its own comes under this category. And this is the only category we allow bulk sales in. Lastly, some trivia that shows that Etsy is really built to encourage entrepreneurship. You might find it interesting to know that 97% of our sellers work out of their homes. 53% of total sellers sold their first goods on Etsy. 81% of our sellers are also women, and 90% of sellers are businesses of one. There's a reason why entrepreneurs pick and choose Etsy is because we believe that entrepreneurship begins with you. That's why we think all the decision regarding your Etsy shop should be made by you, starting from the price of the product you want to charge to the shop policies, shipment, returns, refunds. We have a lot of seller services tools which will help you start, manage, and scale your business. Our company was founded back in 2005, and our headquarters is in Brooklyn, New York. We started our corporate office in India in 2018 in New Delhi. Since then, we've tried to engage with the creative community of India, and Etsy Collective as an event was the result of this objective. We completed 100 sessions with the Etsy Collective, and these are all the places we've done our offline sessions in. And we're so glad to be starting with our online sessions. So without any further ado, let's start with our conversation with Alifia to know more about her business. Hi, Alifia, we welcome you once again. Thank you so much for having this conversation with us, and really looking forward to asking you a lot of questions. So first question being, can you tell us a little bit about your background? How did it start? And you come from a design background.
So I basically do not have a design background. However, my journey has been very special since I have grown up knowing the story of the people who actually craft the clothes. I am born in a family of women entrepreneurs who have been into this industry for the past several years. From my grandmother to my mom, they all have been in this industry for the past many years. So I feel I was naturally driven into getting into this industry. Working alongside, like since I started working with my mom, basically she has hands down experience into this industry for the past several years. So basically working with her has given the right objective and the right direction to my creativity. And another thing I feel is once you get into the industry and when you start working in the actual workplace, that's when the true reality hits in. Like designing is just not putting your imagination on a piece of paper. It's way beyond that. From the start to the finish, there are a lot of a lot of real people who are involved in the process. And it's up to you how you get these people to put your vision into reality. So basically, I have been fortunate enough that I got that exposure since my mom already had a very well established setup. And I learned basically all my basics from there. And yeah.
That's so great to know. And you're very much right here in saying that, a lot of people think that, designing is such a fancy process, be wild with your imagination and just, it'll just come out right. But you're very right. Finding the right people to make your imagination a reality is, of course, a very important task in its own. So that's great that you have such amazing people to work with. My next question to you is about how was White Tree Designs born, and what was your basic inspiration behind starting this?
So White Tree basically is the vision of my mother. Her name is Lamia Basrai, and she's been into this industry for the past 3 decades. She has hands-on experience, and she has always been very popular for her signature embroideries, for her appliques, and for her very pastel and a very subdued color palette. So she always, it was her vision, and Whiteley works totally under her guidance. I am the face right now talking on behalf of her, but it has always been her vision to start a ready-made collection, which totally resonates to what her vision. And we started our journey back in 2018 with a very compassionate motive of creating clothing and accessories which are functional, but they are at the same time very aesthetically beautiful. They
Correct.
are very true to our Indian culture and heritage. And at the same time, they empower the people with quality of life and dignity for their work. So at White Tree, we give a lot of importance to the process as well as the product. Like if you see a piece of our product in front of you, you can understand the amount of labor and the amount of skill which goes in. And we also believe that uh, our products need to be very environment friendly, and in a way the fabrics which we source today, uh, in some way they are supporting the local communities. They are giving a fair share to the people who are putting in their skills, their hard work, and there's total transparency in the entire process, like from the making to the finish. There is total transparency, and that is when you see the product, you can get to know yourself.
That's great. That's great. In fact, I believe that you also have a presentation made and which really talks about the brand philosophy as well. So I'd love to know a little bit about that. Yeah, please let us know a little bit about your vision and mission, as you've rightly mentioned earlier, and a bit about your brand philosophy as well.
Sure. So our basically we have make very consciously produced handcrafted clothing, uh, uh, which uh, which which has a very minimal impact on nature, and it treats its makers as family. So we call ourselves a very conscious clothing brand. When we call ourselves a very conscious clothing brand, it means that we are always trying to bring a very positive change to the environment, and we basically we work on the philosophy, like we work on a few principles. I think we can just play the slide for that.
Okay, sure, sure.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I would, my next question to you would be, how, you have such amazing records which are attached to your brand. So, why did you choose to sell online on Etsy, and out of all the other platforms out there, how did you feel that your ethos resonated well with Etsy?
So basically, my journey or our brand journey with Etsy is it's a very special one. It's very close to our heart because I always believe that the best journeys are the ones which tell a very powerful story and have the power to change the way you think and change the way you work. So we started our journey back in June 2020. That was the point, like when things were just getting normal post lockdown.
Yeah.
But things were pretty slow, and like people were just getting back to their normal lives. And at that point, we essentially had to maintain a social distancing norms at our workplace. So for that reason, we had to ask our workers to attend work every alternate day. uh, at that point, it got us to some amount of thinking, because these people had already been out of work for the past 2 3 months, and they had already exhausted the little savings which they had. So we started looking for alternative ways so that we could make ourselves self-sufficient work-wise, and could also give them alternate ways of earning. That's when we thought of making face masks, and initially we thought that we are just going to keep it at our store. And after a point, one fine day, I just thought that this wasn't enough, and we need to do something else apart from this. So I just thought of Etsy. I hadn't done any amount of research, nothing. I just opened an Etsy shop with just one picture of a face mask. It was like pretty empty. There was no description, nothing, because I didn't have any experience about Etsy. And right after that, after 2 days, I heard this very different notification. Like, we as Etsy sellers get very excited when we hear that. So that was the first time for me, and I didn't know what it was about. So I checked my email, and there I got my first order. And I was very, very excited, but at the same time, I was very nervous because I didn't have any knowledge of e-commerce. So that's when I just called my husband and I shared it with him. And he was like, "Oh, great! You should be happy about it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm happy, but I don't know what to do next."
Yeah.
So he guided me through, and he told me, like, it's your first order, it's on Etsy. You should have a very personalized note and think about a good packaging. So that's when we started packaging our bags our masks in reusable cloth bags, which have been such a great hit that now people order one mask just to get the one reusable pouch. And it's pretty cute. You can like, once you can use it for several things. So that's how it started. And what started with masks has now ventured into various different products. We've started with linen stoles, we started with neckties, and we are soon going to launch our linen shirts and our kitchen linen line as well.
Wow.
So Etsy has actually provided a very huge international market to our labor-intensive products. And since I have joined Etsy, I have always been up to something very meaningful, like starting from being featured on the Etsy page to working with you all on the influencer outreach program to coming here speaking on the small talk. And another very special thing which happened to us in December, we got into a huge celebrity collaboration. Like, I'm not supposed to disclose it right now, but it's something really big, and we'll be launching on the 29th of April. Um, the designer is he's very well known all over the world. So it's something like, a dream opportunity from us sitting in a small place and getting such a huge collaboration offer. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I don't know if I plan to stay here for a very long time, but at some point I feel, even if I don't, I have learned a big deal from Etsy, and I'm glad that I started something like this.
Wow, that's such an amazing experience to hear, and I'm sure that all these small and big things are will make your business go flourish, and I'm sure and we can really see your brand go achieve greater heights. It's really amazing to hear your journey on Etsy, and I'm sure this inspires a lot of people here as well. something that you briefly mentioned about a conscious fashion brand. So, what really means to have a conscious brand, and what kind of materials and techniques and packaging techniques do you use, as you have mentioned a little earlier?
Yes. So as I mentioned, when we call ourselves like a conscious fashion brand, we are making a change in the society. This happens when we empower our consumers with the necessary knowledge, and we make them more informed about their choices, about their thoughtful choices. So we at White Tree, we follow a few principles, as you can see. The first is the use of artisanal fabrics. Now, artisanal fabrics have always been a very core part of India's soul. They are very rich. They have like uh, like they've been passed down to people from one generation to the other. The best part about them is they are slow, they are definitely green, and they are very, very labor intensive. So we at White Tree, we work with some NGOs who are doing a great job for keeping these long-standing traditions alive. These NGOs, they basically work with the rural, underprivileged, and often unknown communities, and they empower them, they give them work. And I feel this industry is incredibly important for our economy as well. The best part about them is these fabrics are made on the loom, so that eliminates the use of excessive energy. And they that's because they and that's how they have a carbon footprint which is close to zero. And they are also made using fabrics such as cotton, which is completely organic, it is pesticide free, and it is very safe for people who make it and also for people who are using it. The second I would like to talk about is our second principle, which is reduce and reuse and upcycle. So as you can see here, uh, these um, these are some images, wherein we have used our fabric scraps and converted them into something very meaningful and very beautiful at the same time. This has a lot of advantages to us. Basically, it helps us to eliminate wastes. It helps us to be more creative, and it gives our shoppers the experience of shopping very guilt free.
Yeah.
These can be you can use it as mindful gifts for your friends and for your family. As you can see, there are like little buttons here. These have been made from the leftover fabrics. Like when we make our masks, the leftover fabrics are converted into these buttons. They are embroidered and embellished. And we also, like, if you see our linen stores, they have like some little tassels which are handmade, and they are also made from leftover fabrics. Other than that, we use our fabrics for applique work. And another thing which we follow is we make our products majorly on made to order basis. So because of that, we avoid a lot of wastage, and at the same time, we avoid holding excess stock, and
Right.
we produce in limited quantities. The third thing is about our packaging, which, as I told you, it's very special to us. We use environment friendly packaging, which is actually very reasonably priced also, and it benefits the consumers as well as the environment. So we try to minimize the use of plastic as much as we can. However, we cannot completely eliminate it since our products travel a very long distance majorly. So as you can see here, we use reusable cloth bags, and eco-friendly handmade cardboard boxes. So this is, I think this trend is very much in today. Like now, even if we go to the grocery store, we see a lot of people carrying reusable cloth bags.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a very well accepted trend right now. And I feel if each one of us can put in a little at a time, I think it can make a great difference in the long run. And lastly, it's about giving fair wages to the people who work for us. So we try to give them a very fair deal on the amount of work they put in. And at the same time, we try to give them a very safe and a very loving working environment.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's actually great. There's so many amazing tips that you've given us in this segment, and that really defines what why your brand is called a conscious brand. Because for a lot of people, a lot of people don't understand the meaning, but it's great that a lot of fashion houses and fashion brands are now following these methods of reducing, reusing, and of course upcycling. I think upcycling is something one of my favorites as well, because every small scrap of fabric can make something very interesting and very new. So it's great that your brand does that, and it gives you something new every time, and
Yeah.
it's one of a kind piece as well.
I would also like to add one thing here. Like currently, every one of us is going through a lot. So
Yeah.
this is basically the time. It's an eye opener to us. So by doing all these things, we are basically investing in the future. We are a very small brand, and this is the most we can do at our level. But if we think if each one of us tries to think this way, we are going to have a very bright future, not only for our children, but the generations which follow after that. So I think this is a practice. It's just so much in, especially post pandemic. And I think we all should start thinking towards this direction very seriously.
Yeah, I think very well said. This really, we should be doing that, and I think this is having these examples in front of people will really become an eye opener, and I'm sure that a lot of people will follow this as well. So a little bit about, as after looking at all the behind the scenes of, how you make and how you produce these beautiful pieces, we would love to see what, how your products actually look like and what all do you have to offer at White Tree.
So we start with our linen stoles. So this is the edition after the face masks, which were a huge hit on Etsy. So we used our exquisite embroideries, and we tried to work on the linen stoles. And they are natural fabrics. They are extremely lightweight. They are they look very pretty. They are in a very pastel and subtle color palette. And if you can see here, like those little tassels, these are all handmade. They are all upcycled. Our artisans have been consistently working on improving them, depending on the fabric trimmings which are left every single day post work. So this is our linen scarves, and then we have our embroidered face masks. So we started on Etsy basically with these face masks. They are made of a very soft hand woven organic cotton. We popularly call it khadi, and they are handcrafted. They are inspired by nature, and yeah, they are made by our skilled artisans. And today we have 100 plus designs in these. So we keep
Wow.
adding our designs occasionally. We work on silk, we work on khadi. We've been part of lot of weddings
Wow.
out of India. We've made masks for the wedding guests. We've done customized masks for them for birthdays, for big celebrations. So yeah, that's about our face mask. And Then our neckties. This also started at a point when we started with, we wanted to do something for the women. So we thought, why not the men? So
Yeah.
we started making these embroidered neckties. They are also basically on silk and on khadi. And yeah, we embellish them with um, some neutral signature embroideries. And then we have some accessories. Some of these are upcycled. As you can see, the hair savers. So we've used the embellished buttons here. Then we have the mask, these embroidered mask pouches. And that's about our embroidered accessories. And then we have
Hello. I think, Alicia, your voice is cut for us a little bit.
hi,
Hi.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. You're back.
So getting back on our product line, and then we have our Chanderi kurtas. So the Chanderi is also, it is made on the loom. It is hand woven, and we style it in different cuts, and we use like our different designs on them. And yeah, that's about our products.
That's beautiful. I think I love the color palette of your entire product ranges, as you've mentioned, very pastel, very like soothing to the eyes, and the kind of embroidery you do against it is it really complements the entire, the clothing or the accessories you make. So I think kudos to the kind of, the entire brand uh, colors and schemes and aesthetic that you've created. I think you and your team has really worked hard on creating that beautiful minimal aesthetic. So I personally love
Thank
it.
you.
uh,
Thank you so
one
much.
one small thing that you've mentioned earlier, briefly, is about, you closely work with the artisans, but how do you really empower them to provide them that quality of life? Because that, I believe that that is a very, very important aspect of your business as well.
Yes, that is a very important aspect because we have workers who've been with us since the time we started. So they are they've now become a very, like a part of our family, like an extended family. So we try to keep our workspace positive as much as we can. We try to always keep their spirits high. The other thing we do is we try to give them the freedom of making their own decisions. And also at the same time, we try to make them accountable for whatever task they have been assigned. So we've observed that this helps them to be more productive.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. And the other important thing which I feel is a communication. So we constantly try to communicate with them in whichever way we can. As I mentioned earlier, that it's easy to put your vision on a piece of paper, but when it comes to actually getting the work done, so communication here is very important because these are the people who are going to actually give your vision a reality. So if I have thought of a design and a certain color palette, and if I'm not able to convey it to them in the correct manner, so basically I'm not going to achieve the outcome which I have visioned. So it is very important to communicate with them. So that's what we do at our workspace. Other than that, as I mentioned earlier, we work with a lot of ethical NGOs.
Yeah.
So there's something very special about these NGOs is they try to provide the artisans a very sustainable livelihood by giving a fair share of price for their work. And another special thing about them is they create a very transparent market for them, wherein the weavers and the artisans, they decide the price point, and it's basically based on a very demand and supply basis. So as and when the demand comes in, the NGO reports to the artisans, and that's how they make. So it's a very clear process, and they also work towards the upliftment of a lot of women. So they provide them with a lot of skills, a lot of necessary skills, and because of which now they have been able to get a very improved economic and social status in their workplace. They give them a lot of training, from costing to the latest trends to the colors. They are always updated, and the best part is that these women get to work from their homes. So yeah, so they can work at their own pace, and they definitely earn a lot from this. And yeah, it helps on the overall development and improvement of these artisans. It gives them a lot of support from the NGOs.
Wow, that's actually great to see how organized this whole process has been, and I'm sure this gives these artisans, these very talented artisans, some sense of independence and their own decision making, which I'm sure is really great for their own self growth as well. So that's actually great to know that um, these practices are being done. So thank you so much for sharing that. And finally, my last question. I'm sorry, I think there's a lot of sunshine coming on my face. Um, okay. So, and finally, my last question is about any personal tips you'd like to give to people who want to start off their own journey at Etsy. Anything that you want them to make a note of?
So this is something I can just go on and on, because I have learned a whole lot of deals from Etsy. Uh, but there are a few very important points which I normally, like, now I apply in my day-to-day running uh, of our work at our workplace, and also in my personal life as well. The first thing is, be patient, because you can't expect things to happen overnight. Though Etsy is a very simple and it's a very self-explanatory platform, but there are still some intricacies which you need to understand to make your shop competitive. And if you're new to SEOs are search engine optimization. You need to understand that it takes time for the engine to recognize you. So honestly, it takes time to learn something which is so meaningful. And for me, if it came very easy on Etsy, I think I wouldn't have valued it as much as I value it today. So patience is very important. Secondly, I feel it's very important to be curious. You should on a very continuous basis, you should try to learn new things. Like, I would like to share my own experience here, that at a point I had just left my Etsy shop on autopilot because I was consistently getting a good amount of sales. But there came a point where for about 15 days and beyond, I didn't get any sales. So that got me to thinking, and then I started doing a lot of research. I started checking shops which sell the same kind of products, and that's when I realized that there's a whole lot of things which one need, like I still need to learn. So there is no place for ego here, and I feel if you are curious, you are humble also. You are always open to ideas. And the best part about Etsy is you have a whole huge Etsy community, so you don't have to go to anyone else. People are right there to help. It's a very loving, it's a very beautiful community. I have made a whole lot of friends here. We've learned through each other's experience. So yeah, that's a very helpful. And lastly, I would like to say that you have to always be very creative. You have to keep creating and developing new products, and learn how to market your shop, learn new marketing skills. There are a lot of resources which Etsy provides. There are forums, there are newsletters, there are emails. So you should have access to these, and definitely utilize them. Work on your storefront, check your store display, make creative banners, do announcements. Your descriptions need to be very, very crisp and clear, and you should be able to deliver what you have committed, and just stay relevant with whatever people want. And lastly, just work on customer reviews and feedback, because that's very, very important. That needs a lot of work, but I feel that that is what makes your store very special. So yeah, just work on those.
Wow, amazing. I think you gave like an entire starter kit to get on Etsy. So I really hope like the audience, I think you made your own notes. In case you missed out, please do check out our Facebook Live, or we also put up our sessions in a week on our Instagram, because I think there's a lot you offered here in this fireside chat. So thanks a lot for sharing this entire, how you run your business and the whole ins and outs. We're really thankful for that. While you were doing this, a lot of people had started putting in questions in the chat box. So I'll just soon take up, but before that, please take a sip of water. And I can pass on a couple of questions to Anushka, which are mostly related to Etsy. So Anushka is just part of a couple of generic questions that people ask. Any like first 5 steps to get on Etsy, if you could just tell us.
Yeah, sure. So for setting up a shop on Etsy, first of all, you need to go to a website, which is www.etsy.com. You can use any browser for that, and recommended is Google Chrome. And when you go on a website, you'll find a sign in option on the right hand side top. When you click on sign in, there is an option of register. So you have to register with your email ID, put your first name and the password for Etsy. When you have registered for that, you will find a sell on Etsy option on the right hand side top. When you click on that, you will find open your Etsy shop in black color. So when you click on that, you will come on the first step, which is shop preferences. So here you have to choose your preferred language, your preferred country, and your preferred currency, and as well as a type of seller you are, the full-time seller or a part-time seller. And when you are done with this first step, you have to click on save and continue. After that, the second step will come, which is name your shop. So there you have to mention the name of your brand, which you want to choose for Etsy, and that is editable. So if you want to change in future, you can change it. And the third step is stock your shop. So there you need to add one picture of your product as well as few details. That is also editable. So it's just a formality to start a shop, but that is editable in future if you want to make some changes in that. After putting up some details and the picture of the product, you have to click on save and continue. After that, you will come on the fourth step, which is how you will get paid. So for receiving the payments on Etsy, you need to have a business PayPal account. And that email ID you have to mention on that page, which is you have to just click on other payment methods, fill up your email address for you have to just type it 2 times and then click on save. After doing that, you will come on the last step, which is set up billing. Before that, you have to confirm your email on your email address. And after confirming your email address, you can proceed for the fifth step, which is set up billing. So now Etsy is not charging any registration fee from you. So it's just a formality to add your card details over there. You can use any card like debit or credit card, whatever you are comfortable with. It is always recommended to use credit cards. And that is only a formality. Once you are done with the details, you have to fill your billing address as well as the card details. Then the open your shop will highlight and you just have to click on that. And then you'll be live on Etsy. And that card is also editable. So you can change in future if you want to change. It's just for the formality. Whenever in future you'll get a bill from Etsy, you have to pay through that card or any other card, whatever you are comfortable with. So this is a 5-step process of opening a shop on Etsy. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Anushka. The next question is related to knowing that a lot of people are asking if any shipping partners that Etsy provides, or how does shipping takes place for sellers on Etsy?
Okay, on Etsy, we don't have any like restrictions on the sellers to use a particular shipping company because it's a DIY platform, and you are opening up your own shop, you are setting up your own policies. Everything is as per the seller's preferences. So we are not restricting them, but keeping in mind the requirements of many sellers, we have integrated recently with Yakit. It's an integrated partner of shipping with Etsy, and the link of Yakit is also available on your sales and order page, or where the order details are mentioned. But it is always the choice of the seller at the end that which company they will opt for. So you can choose any company, but yeah, because few sellers demanded the shipping partner, so that's why we have integrated recently with Yakit. So you can also sign up with Yakit. If you need help with that, we have a team for that. You can fill up a form which is there in the chat box. So if you need any information about Yakit and you want to go with Yakit in future. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. And another question before I move on to asking questions to Alethea. So Gitika is asking, do we need a GST mandatory certificate to get on Etsy? And is it recommended, not recommended for the platform?
So for the platform, it is not compulsory because Etsy, we are encouraging every artist. So there are many artists who have just started and they don't have GST and import and export code or any other license for shipping outside India. So Etsy is not restricting any seller with these GST and IC. You can start your shop without GST. If in future you feel like you are getting good amount of sales and you want to register with the GST and you want to update it on Etsy also, you can update it later on also. So it is completely optional as of now for starting up a shop on Etsy.
Great, thanks a lot. So Alethea, a couple of questions for you. So Shruti here in the audience is asking questions like, what were the first few things that you changed or improvised once you opened your Etsy shop, and any marketing or advertising budget you allocated for Etsy?
The very most important thing I think is the SEOs, the 13 tags which are allowed on Etsy. So the first thing that's the very important thing which I realized once I started my store is they should be very relevant. There is a description which is given with the product. So basically, your tags should match the description. This is something I learned after a lot of failed attempts. And yes, I have run ads through Etsy. I use the Etsy Plus program. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of that. So that gives you a few options of how you can create your storefront. It gives you the option of having rotating banners, which is a very attractive thing. It has a few additional advantages. It offers you uh, uh, a particular budget on running ads. Basically, there is a fee which is applicable every month, and a part of it you can use it for your ads. So SEOs are very important. You have to continuously update because Etsy changes its algorithm very frequently. Like now we are getting close to Mother's Day, so basically people will be searching a lot of things related to gifts you can give to your mom. So you have to keep continuously working on these tags, and Etsy does inform you very well in advance. They do send a notification like now we are approaching this event. So that's when it's you start working on your SEOs. You add a few tags related to Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So all these things I have discovered in the few months as an experience selling on Etsy. And yeah, your store display, your description, as I said, your description has to be very, very to the point, very crisp, very clear, and you should deliver what you have provided in the description. So these are the things which are very important.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Another thing that one question that was asked in the audience was whether you use like an embroidering thread, is cotton or polyester. How do you which thread do you use for embroidering?
So we use completely cotton threads.
Okay.
We check the threads before we do any kind of embroidery, because see, these are the products which are going to far off places. So most of the times, like if you say face mask is something we do not accept returns.
Okay.
So yeah, so we use cotton threads, and we check all the thread colors. We make sure that they don't leak any color. We do specify that it has to be hand washed, but once it reaches the customer, you don't know how they are washing it basically. So you have to be sure that these threads do not leak any color. And yeah, they are all cotton. We don't use any synthetic anywhere, be it fabric, be it the thread. We don't use anything synthetic. Even our labels, even our brand labels are all cotton based.
Wow. That's actually great that every element of your business is really resonating the consciousness of the brand that you stand for. So that's great to know. One question which I think you were briefly mentioning here as well, regarding the returns. So do you specify for the kind of products you accept returns and the kind of products you don't accept return, or does that impact your business at all?
So at the moment, we have a policy of no return. However, we do acknowledge there have been times where people, like the buyers, have had little issues with our
Right.
product. So that's when we give preference to the buyer. We do a free replacement from our side. That has happened, I can say, in all these months. It has happened just a couple of times, because basically people who come to Etsy, they are all very genuine. They love handmade, they love what you're doing, so they do give a lot of respect to that. But yeah, there have been a couple of issues here and there, and for both those instances, we have offered a replacement from our side. We've accepted that there has been a mistake somewhere from our side. Though we do a thorough quality check before we send out anything, we make sure that it's very nicely packaged. It's everything is in place. So but yeah, I mean, because there's human element involved here, you have to give a little benefit of doubt somewhere. So
Correct.
it does happen, but at that time it's always advisable to accept it. And yeah, just because at these times, reviews make a lot of difference.
Yeah.
So if you have a negative review, it might affect your sales. So somewhere there is some kind of loss somewhere. So if you feel that yes, it's a mistake on your side, I think it's better to accept and offer a free replacement if you don't have the policy of returns.
Okay. That's great. So another question which we have is, do you also actively work on your social media handle and get leads from there for your Etsy shop? And how do you make that interconnection happen from the audience who reach out to your Instagram and direct them to your Etsy shop?
So we have our Etsy, the ID in the bio. We've mentioned it there. Other than that, working on social media, we do on a very continuous basis. We keep updating our products, so we keep posting on social media. But at the moment, we do not have a lot of customers outside, like a lot of followers outside the country, but
Okay.
we have a lot of Indian followers.
Correct.
So yeah, people who visit our store, they either DM us, or they go to our Etsy store and they get to see our products there. So yeah, we do work on a regular basis on social media. We have a social media linked to Etsy as well. So if anyone, yeah, they can directly come to our page and they can check out what's happening there.
Okay. One other question that we got in the chat is any of your personal tips on product photography, because I think your shop is really like, as you talk about aesthetic and functionality, you definitely ace both these areas very well. And the whole aesthetic appeal of your Etsy shop is really eye-catching. So any tips from your side about product photography?
So it's good that this question came in, because at this point I would like to give credit to someone who works behind the scenes, and that's my brother. He's a commercial photographer. So all these beautiful pictures are all credits to him. I am not at all responsible for these pictures. It's just that we create our products and we send it to him, and it's his vision, it's his creativity, and he's pretty good at it. So it's all credits to him, and I basically don't do any photography. But yeah, I mean, this his work has helped us a lot, because yeah, I mean, here when there is no physical element uh, existing, it's the pictures who do the talking. So yeah, these beautiful pictures are responsible for lot of things, a lot of sales. So I mean, we have this facility in house, but even if you don't have, there are a lot of tips which are provided in the Etsy seller handbook. So I think you should just go through that and figure out how you should photograph your pictures. And as far as I have experienced, let it be a very simple, very clear. Give all the angles so that the buyer knows what they are going to get once they order the product. So yeah, don't do any watermarks, don't do any flashy backgrounds. Make it very simple and very clean, and make it look a little attractive. That's all.
So my next question is actually, as we're running out of time a little bit also, my personal question to you would be which was the first place that you got your Etsy order from, and any interesting countries from where you've received your orders coming in?
So the first order which I received was from the US, and we basically 80% of the orders which I have currently, which I have made in all these months, they've basically been from the US.
Okay.
And a few special countries have been Japan and Switzerland, and yeah, these two. And recently I got an order from New Zealand as well. So yeah, I mean, when I got the order from Japan, it was very special, and that was a very big order. And yeah, we got some orders from Singapore as well.
Okay.
So
wow, that's great to know. It's I'm sure it would have been amazing to like see how your work of art is appreciated by people across the world, and somebody sitting out of Japan is liking that face mask you've made in
yes.
your workshop. I'm sure that's really happy. It's like a great feeling for you.
And I would like to also mention that they do send us their pictures as well, which is very exciting. Like when they use the products, like a lot of them send us pictures, and it's very, very sweet of them. It's very touching. So that's also a very special part. They leave a very good review if they've liked the product. So at present, we have like 200 plus reviews, and that gives us a lot of motivation to put in our best every single time.
Wow, amazing, amazing. That's actually great to know. Actually, with that, in case we missed out any of your questions, please do reach out to us at tara@etsy.com. There we can take up all the queries that are left over. With that, thank you so much, Alethea. This has been a great conversation, and we've loved chatting with you, knowing about your business. Such a warm and fuzzy feeling to know how you are so passionate about what you do, and that energy really resonates across with anybody you interact with. So thanks a lot for sharing all the wonderful insights. I'm sure the audience learned a lot from you since the time you started the business. I'm sure there's a lot of learning for them as well. So thank you so much, audience, for joining in for this session. We really hope you learned a lot. Do let us know how you like the session in the feedback form that you'll receive via email. And as I mentioned, in case you missed out on your queries, please reach out to us at tara@etsy.com. and we'll be answering all your queries there. Do check out our social media handles for more updates, and have a great weekend ahead.